Well, this guy, this is a 1964 Gibson J50. I mean, I was just, for the first time ever in my life, about 2 years ago, I was in a position where I could get myself a fancy new guitar. This is a pretty sort of indulgent purchase, but I went to this shop, a great guitar shop down in kind of like Guildford sort of area, and it was on just like a Sunday afternoon. They were open. I just went and spent a couple of hours just playing guitars, because I'd played the same acoustic at that point, you know, for 5 years. I played it for 2 more years after that. It was like it was a new, I'd had it for a while, so that made it old, but it was a new Epiphone jumbo body, just like cheap thing that I'd sort of, you know, dragged around open mics, and I just wanted something nice, I guess, and I wanted to go and sort of take some time and really play some guitars and find out what felt really good under my fingers, and this is great. I mean, you know, I kind of old guitars, there's a lot to be said for them. Some of them aren't so great, but the wood on on old acoustic guitars is often really nice and resonant, and it's not kind of covered in lacquer. And this one just feels great. It feels good and warm, and you know, it does the right thing.
Fishman,
I do, yeah. The Fishman, I don't know. I've played a few sort of pickups and a few Fishmans that I liked, and this one is still in here. I'm probably going to take it out. It's just not the right one. It's something to do with you're just not able to like fix a pickup inside for whatever reason, and so I just ended up with this one because I wanted a certain type of Fishman pickup, and this is the closest that they could do for me. But I don't know. Still, it's cool plugged in, but it's great unplugged and mic'd up. That's the best way that I've heard it sound.
Sure. And then you got the big Jumbo S.
Yeah.
200.
Where
did you get that?
The SJ100, actually Gibson were kind enough to lend me that one, which is really handy, because like that jumbo Epiphone that I was telling you about, I played that for 7 years, and it was a cheap guitar, but you know that doesn't ever have to matter. It did the job. But the SJ200, I played one. I borrowed one out in America recently. I don't know what it is about the S part of the J200, but I've played J200s, they're okay, and for whatever reason, this SJ100, as far as I know, the dimensions are the same. So, but it's just really great, and I like the sort of dark sunburst on it, and I've kind of written a lot of this album based around the low, kind of big body. I tuned down a whole tone. All the strings are standard, but down a whole tone. So like D, G, C, F, A, D, and the jumbo body just gives me that big, low, guttural kind of sound, which I love, and which is kind of becoming one of my things.
So when you're out on tour, you recorded the album in Nashville. Do you get a chance to go and guitar shopping?
As much as I can, yeah. I kind of stumble across things conveniently. I try and sort of kid myself that I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for anything, and then I realise there are a few things I'm kind of after. And there's just over there I have a Gibson ES330, which is an old 60s one. It's a 1964 one that I found in this kind of ramshackle old shop called the Music Inn in New York, and it was full of these like homemade guitars, homemade fretless guitars with aluminium fretboards, and percussion, floor to ceiling percussion, really old kind of crappy vinyls, like kind of broken vinyls, records that weren't working, and just really scratched, and it was just this bizarre shop, and in the corner was this guitar, and it was just perfect, and I kind of couldn't turn it down. I love P90s, and I love the sort of thinness of the hollow body, and this is this tiny little neck, and again there's that old wood that breathes, and it breathes and resonates so well.
So do you have a set of strings that you use across your acoustics that you like?
I've gone up to 13s recently because I dropped down. I was on 12s because I go down a whole tone, and I've been using some Ernie Ball strings recently. They've got a range called Earthwood strings, which I was enjoying, and then I can't remember the name. Everlast is the other ones that that I've been using. I used the Darios for a while, and I'd go back to them. Like I like the Darios, but I've sort of fallen in love with these Ernie Ball ones recently. So
Sure.
I think I'll probably stick it out with these for a while.
Do you follow any sort of independent guitar makers in the UK then? Sort of, if we all had like a dream guitar, would your dream guitar be anything other than what you have now?
Dream guitar. I mean, I hate to sound like that guy, but I'm in a good place right now, guitar wise. I've seen these. I think Fano guitars. I don't know how you say them. I don't know if that's American though. But they make some cool guitars. But I mean, you know, acoustic wise, I have a thing about Gibson acoustics. I never really noticed at first, but I guess it came through playing that Epiphone. I just love them. I really like sort of everything about them, the way they look, the way they sound. It's quite an event when you pull out a Gibson acoustic. It's a good looking thing. And there's nothing against Martins, and there's nothing against, you know, other kind of more obscure like brands. But I mean, I sort of always felt like Patrick James Eggle with decent acoustics, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's that one that Ryan Adams plays all the time. I forget what that is.
The Harmony Book Owens.
Harmony, there you go.
Yeah.
See, Harmony acoustics I love them. You can beat the crap out of them. You can really beat up the Harmony guitars, and they can just take it. So I've always liked those as well. But Gibson, there's something about it that I love. Yeah.